Great, and here we are. Hey, welcome everybody. This is Lee Iben with Action Coach Campus right here in Iowa City in our virtual studios. And my guest today is Stacey with Windmill Manor. So Stacey, before you tell us about your business, tell us a little bit about you. How did you get to where you're at today?
Hi, I started actually way back in my younger years. My mother was a director of nursing of a nursing facility, and I would go there after school and help feed. And at that time, the regulations weren't like they are today. And I would, as a young grade school girl, be able to do activities and help at supper time with the long-term care folks there, and then worked my way into nursing, went to college for nursing, and started as a staff nurse in a couple of nursing facilities, and worked into director of nursing and administrator. So that's a short, condensed version of how I got here today.
I think it's in your blood, Stacey.
Yeah, I think so.
Since you were small. So now tell me about Windmill Manor. It's been in the area for a long time, right?
Yeah. We opened our doors about 16 years ago. And so we're a 120 bed facility. We serve patients for bounce back rehabilitation, as well as dementia, garden court services, and your long-term care, regular nursing home patients. So lots of entities under one roof. So that's what makes it really fun.
It is. And the Dementia Unit, have you seen, that's been growing over the past 10, 20 years, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Our dementia unit's about 25 beds, and truly, it's an amazing program. And rarely will you find an opening in that area just because the need is so large. And I feel like we do a very, very good job with our dementia folks.
Yeah, it's a special population, that's for sure. And they need to be watched a little closer. I have a relative who has dementia, and she's in a lockdown facility because she tends to want to run. So, so it's a special person like you and your staff that can take care of people like that, because most folks just aren't qualified to do that.
Yeah, it definitely takes a team, and once you get that right people on the bus in the right seats, it definitely makes it all successful.
I love that reference to Jim Collins. That's a great book.
Yeah.
I like to ask, who is your target audience? Do you draw most of your residents from the local area, or is it statewide? How does that work for you?
I'd say mainly local area. However, with us being in the heartbeat of Iowa City, they do get a lot of referrals from the whole state. So we will get patients from all different areas.
Mm-hmm. And how do people find out about you, about Windmill Manor? How do they find out that you have these facilities available?
Well, I'd like to say word of mouth is our biggest marketing. People who have experienced their loved ones here really go out and promote us. Of course, we do other advertising, radio, TV, print, ad.
Right. And do you help the families? I know some folks have like a long-term care policy, or they might be on Title 19. Does your staff help the families with that? Because coming into it, most folks will have maybe 4 adult parents that they have to take care of in their later years, but they're not very well qualified to deal with all that, right?
Yeah, it can be very confusing, all of the insurance policies. So we have a team here, our social service person, our business office manager, marketing and director. They all work together and make it the best experience we can for the person. Like I said, it's very confusing. There's been one instance that I can speak of for sure is, we took the weight of the world off this one spouse, a wife, because she just didn't know how she was going to take care of her husband and how she was going to basically sell the farm. And we said, no, you don't have to do that. And so it's just a lot of working and assuring people that there's resources available, and we're here to help.
That's great. That's fantastic. All right. So the golden question today is how has COVID-19 impacted your business?
If there's a silver lining, I think, our team worked together great before, but just we're so close knit now. I mean, more so than ever. And that strong bind, knitting, just like a rope, it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter the harder you pull.
Mm-hmm.
And they, the whole staff has just worked incredible.
Right.
So I'm not, gonna say we're absolutely perfect, but we feel pretty close to it. We're pretty happy that we've been, for the most part, we think we've had a successful go here so far, knock on wood. We want to make sure we continue with that, but we feel like we've been successful so far and want to continue that for sure.
Sure. And how has it been with the residents? How do you explain to them, if you can, what's going on?
Yeah, it's tough. I think, sorry,
That's right.
I think that starting in the very beginning, I had daily meetings with the staff, daily stand-up meetings, trying to get the information that I knew, everything I knew, I would get to the staff, and then that would trickle down to the residents.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody would feel confident um, that we were all in this together. No one, no silly questions were asked. Um, Daily meetings in front of the staff, and then they would feel confident telling the residents the most updated information on a daily basis.
Sure. And that is so important. I mean, the folks that I speak with, the business owners I speak with, we always talk about a daily huddle, in the morning, just a touch base with
Right.
everybody on staff, just so that, if someone had a bad night or their kids are sick, I mean, just kind of knowing where your staff members come from or where they're coming from that day really helps us to, communicate better throughout the day if we know what we're all going up against, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So here's an interesting question. It says that smart people learn from their mistakes, and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So, what mistakes did you make along the way that you can help other folks learn from your experience?
I had to think about that question a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think the biggest thing is since the beginning, I feel like all I've done is research and read and questioned and talked. And um, I think that's one of the biggest things that I did to try to combat this illness. Um, you know, I feel like we've done a good job. We have had instances where we've had to fight the monster,
Mm-hmm.
um, but we did it, and we did it together. I guess the biggest thing probably is just we learn to be one step ahead, to make sure that we were reading the information that we needed to research the information, be one step ahead, and to make a quick decision. Now is not
Right.
the time to be, maybe we should get, other opinions. We had to make decisions quickly and move forward. And sometimes they weren't the right decisions. Sometimes they were. Most of the time, I think they were. And we worked together as a team. And I said, okay, this is what we think we want to do. What do you guys think? Okay, let's go. So,
That's great.
I going back to the first when we first had to deal with this was beginning of March. Huddled my department heads, my team together, and I said, "This is what we're going to do." And I think we moved an entire wing in a matter of a few hours because everybody was, together as a team with that. And I think that's one of the first things that we did that made us successful is to get an area solely excluded for if and when we had cases that we had to take care of.
That's great. I've got your email, Stacey, and I've got your website and phone number, but is there anything else that you want to add or something else that you want folks to know about Windmill Manor?
Um, I think that if you want to have your loved one go to a place, we can certainly look at your needs. Not every nursing facility is right, or not, going to a nursing facility isn't always right for everyone, especially in these times. It's tough. The visitation policies are tough. We luckily are moving into our phase 2 and hopefully in the next couple weeks, phase 3. So we're able to have visitation outside with our family members, which we're so thankful for. Um, but I think just you need to have your whole team together, daily meetings. And if somebody's not happy with something, you find out to the bottom, why it is that way.
Right.
But for the most part, I think it's just good teamwork. And I know I keep saying that, but it truly, truly makes a difference if you're all on the same page. So,
Yeah, it does. And I think you touched on something too. I think for families looking, it's a process, isn't it? I mean, for
right,
them to find the right facility for their loved one, it takes a while.
right.
Yeah, it sure
Yeah,
does.
it does. Yeah, go visit those. Well, right now you can't visit, but
No,
there's websites, there's Facebook. Call, and you can tell a lot from the phone call too of how people have been successful and accomplished goals throughout this COVID area.
right, right. So tell me, what's the thing that's most inspiring to you right now amidst all this COVID-19 craziness? What's the thing that's still most inspiring to you?
Um, I think what makes me come to work every day, and what makes a lot of our staff come to work every day, is that we are the family of our loved ones that we serve, because we know we have to be in the absence of other families. So I guess that's the most inspiring, is a family member actually told me just a couple days ago, they were here visiting, and they saw a CNA, grab the hand of their dementia loved one and took that hand just like it was their own grandma or grandpa.
Hmm.
And that's what makes the difference to us. That's what makes us different, is the healing touch and the love that our staff has for all of our residents here.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that, Stacey. Hang on just a second here, everybody. That was Stacey with Windmill Manor, and I'm Lee Iben with Action Coach Campus right here in Iowa City. Don't go away, Stacey. Hang on just for a second.